Assalamu alaikum rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Alhamdulillah. So I'm gonna promote the brother page. I don't normally do this or whatever, but I just watched. It's the name of the page is Pure Islam, right? This one of the brothers, Najib. He used to be. Well, I think he still is. They had a group called Salafi Inc. back in the day, right? So on his page, Pure Islam, I just watched one of his videos where he was talking about the masajids in the black community, right? And I'm promoting that video. You know, check the brother page out, but check out that video. And like some of the things that I be talking about, he's saying some of the similar things. Like he's referring to how he moved to a different little city. So, you know, he's naming like certain masjids and this and that, and like how things going on. And then he was like, the particular masjid, and you know, he's speaking on your urban masjids and this and that, your little local masjids. And he was saying, like basically like the closest masjid to him, he's like, man, I can't even go there and pray in it because they pray the wrong direction. He's like, man, they don't even pray the right direction. And he's in California. So this is more of an issue than what people know. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, he was like, there's a masjid, the other one is an hour away. Just the issues with just masjids and just finding a masjid, and you have to deal with all these things when you go to it. And he was speaking on, and this is one of the reasons why I want to make why I'm making this video, and really trying to get to some of the younger brothers that watch my videos, and some of them talk to me, and why I don't want them to get caught up, right? And why I do some of the videos that I do and speak about some of the subject matters that I speak about, because some people have been blinded. They're blind to the facts. So he was saying how he was watching a video of this guy in Atlanta, an imam in Atlanta, but the imam was an older person who kind of came up during the time of like Imam Siraj Wahaj. You know, one of my personal favorites. You know, people used to try to knock Imam Siraj Wahaj, you know. But anyway, the imam was like, because you know he had a lot of younger, some youth, 20-year-olds, 30-year-olds, you know, 40-year-olds. So he was saying, you know, he was mentioning Imam Siraj Wahaj, and he was like, nobody in the whole entire masjid, not one person knew him. And he said it was blowing his mind. So then he said, well, do y'all know Shadid Muhammad? And he said every last person in that masjid knew Shadid Muhammad. Crazy about him. So when he was saying that and he was listening to it, you know, this dude started reflecting about when he first met Shadid Muhammad, and he was like, I don't know him personally. I don't really know him. I met him once. You know, we both had went overseas and this and that. Now this is what makes me want to speak on it, because this is my main topic, man. The division in the Muslim Ummah, in the urban Muslim communities, and the harms of this division. And I'm, inshallah, bifni Allah ta'ala, I'm going to be able to break it down where it makes sense for y'all. But I had to speak on a little history. So with this brother, and it, you know, it was kind of funny to me because he said, I don't know him personally. So when he was in the group with Salafi Inc., and I'm going to be honest about this, out of the Salafi groups, Salafi Inc. was my favorite. Salafi Inc. was my favorite. And I'm going to tell you where I started to have an issue with them. So, out of the Salafi Inc., you had Salafi Inc., then you had Salafi Pubs, which was Abu Khadija and them, right? Then you had your, at this time, it was really just people just blanketed under the Germantown, but it was a few people, you know, a masjid in Jersey, a masjid in like Baltimore, Maryland area, the DC area, that was clicked in with them, with the Germantown. But at this time, they had Germantown, Mukbil, Masjid, Ahlul Hadith wa Athar, and they didn't have Bin Baz yet, but they was going through the process of getting Bin Baz. So we was all in this Salafi group. This was like before they used to have like the internet was a little bit different. So like before they had Salafi Sounds and all that, they would have like these little links, and you could go to it and listen to like Salafi Radio, these different little things. So they had like Salafi Talk Radio, and they had these different funny little chat groups. So anyway, I can't even remember how we linked into them. And it ain't like it was that long ago, but this was in 2007, 8. It started kind of fading out maybe around 2012, 13, because the internet started getting different. You know, where they started having more websites and stuff where they could just put the lecture on them. But anyway, we was in this group. And this is when I started to get a little salty with them. Matter of fact, this was a little bit later. This was probably around 2014. It was fading. So anyway, Shadid Muhammad, because I was a Hadith person. So when Shadid Muhammad came home, he's the first black graduate from Medina with the school who went to Medina, that actually graduated from a school that I knew, right? So when he came home, I was excited because he was an African American, and you know, he went on like the Dean show, and he was doing Hadith classes, and to this day, some of the best Hadith classes I ever listened to. Okay, I'm gonna be honest about it. He ended up becoming the Imam of United Muslim Masjid in Philly. Okay, now he's just coming home. He hadn't been home all that long. I say by this time he probably had been home about 2 years, maybe, when the fitna really got crazy. The brother has started a TV show called The Mardia Show. Beautiful, beneficial, right? So the Salafis started attacking him. Due to Abu Khadija, they started attacking him real bad, to the point where he stopped doing his TV show. He stopped doing the Hadith classes, and that's why he started switching to marriage and dealing with certain things, because he said he wanted to do something where they couldn't really attack. And I mean, like, tore this man honor to pieces, to the day where he still never recovered from it. And I seen a change in him, because he started becoming angry, and some of that anger is still with him. You know what I'm saying? Because like he said, even when he walk in the room, or they invite him to the masjid, and sometimes when he walk in the room, it's still people who look at him because the way they tarnished his name. So anyway, when we was in that group, and Salafi Inc. was in there, you know what I'm saying? So Anwar told them brothers, Anwar Wright, he told them, I don't feel like y'all warned against Shadid Muhammad enough. You know what I'm saying? So basically, long story short, he put some pressure on them to start warning against Shadid Muhammad. I seen this with my own eyes in the group. So they started warning against him and saying stuff. And this is why I'm bringing this up, because this was the funny part. Because like he said, I don't even know him personally. He didn't even really know him. But he started attacking him also. So they really destroyed Shadeed Muhammad honor. Right? And I mean all of them. Even when he had the Mardia show, I was listening to a live class with Hassan Somali at Germantown Masjid that he used to do on the weekends. And he took a clip from Shadeed Muhammad's Mardia show and twisted it up. And I'm listening to him live, trying to say that he said Tawheed wasn't Tawheed wasn't important, and this and that. So they started, although that ain't what he said, right? It was a part of the clip where he was saying we need more than just Tawheed. You know, we need to clean up social ills. We supposed to be changing the communities. The things that they started trying to do when they started losing followers, which Shadeed Muhammad was correct. Okay? But he wasn't saying Tawheed wasn't important. They just twisted it. So, anyway, all of this stuff happened. So once they finally got everybody named down dirty, they all started fighting each other. Okay? Right now, all of them individuals who was top imams and all that, they not that no more. Some of them, to keep it honest with you, what they got names, they going from different cities and different cities trying to get masjids, trying to get hired, getting fired and stuff. You know, you go to listen to a Germantown football, ain't no telling who gonna be giving it. It just, like I said, Mukbil and Germantown Masjid, they split from Atlo Hadith first. So through the midst of this, then they ended up getting into it with Salafi Inc. And Hassan Somali got to talking about how he don't know them. Like he was really saying it. So Najib and them started showing flyers where they was on conferences together with Hassan Somali from back in the day, proving that Hassan Somali was lying. So, you know, he was really just trying to discredit them. So they got to fighting real bad. So then Salafi Inc. clicked up with Masjid Mukbil when Mukbil was against them at first. Then they clicked up with Mukbil and did a couple of conferences, and they invited Tahir and Hanif and them. Now they want to squash beef with Tahir and them now that they done split from Germantown. Now Imam Hanif agreed to go. So whatever, some rumblings that got back to him before the conference started, I listened to the conference. So Najib then was there, and you know, they basically started airing out everything. How Germantown was bogus, what Hassan Somali and them really was doing. And then the next weekend, Hassan Somali and them did a conference, clicked up with another masjid in Philly that they was trying to pull in and turn Salafi with them. Now this weekend, Hassan and them doing a conference, and they going back and forth at Mukbil and them, talking about how the scholars warned against that imam, and it was just crazy, right? And they was putting out the little Twitter things about him, they usual little stuff. So when it all fell apart, Salafi Inc. is away from them. So Najib, like I said, by him saying he didn't know Shadeed Muhammad personally, but he was doing all this warning and saying all this stuff, tearing his name down, all of them was within Salafi Inc. So when this split happened, Najib, what his name? Yusuf Khalifa, I think it is. Khalifa Yusuf. I can't think of his name. He be in New York. Smooth little cat with the beard. It was a few more of them. But anyway, they came out on this same channel, Pure Islam. And if you go through his through his videos, it's been a few years though. But he came out and they did a public apology to Shadeed Muhammad. And they came in and was talking about how they lied and that the scholars didn't say that. And Yusuf Khalifa They went with Muhammad Maghribi. They went to the scholars and this and that, and the scholars didn't say nothing about Shadid Muhammad. They talking about this publicly, so this is not me saying this. So he said when they came back, he said that Muhammad Maghribi told them that the position of the sheikh still stands on Shadid Muhammad. So he said he looked at him because he was lying. So they went back to tearing the man's name down. But he said the sheikh never said that about Shadid Muhammad. So he couldn't. So he was basically apologizing for the role that he played in it, and that admitted that they was making up lies and stuff about him. So, but this is what blew my mind. While all of them, they did everything that they could to tear Shadid Muhammad down. And that man watched a man in Atlanta. Because this is stuff I'm thinking about. I was around for it. And like I said, I was already listening to Shadid Muhammad. I'm listening to him because after he did he canceled the TV show and tried to do a radio show. But he was so angry. Like, you couldn't even listen to his radio shows because he was going off every day. You know what I'm saying? He couldn't even really give dawah. And, but I was listening to him talking about, while he was still in Philly, and he just going to the little corner store and all this stuff, man, and people was throwing stuff at him. Nothing like bottles or nothing, throwing papers at him and threatening him. He out there getting ready to fight people. It was crazy. So now he listening to a guy in Atlanta talking about when he mentioned Shadid Muhammad's name in 2024. Everybody, the young people, everybody in the masjid knew Shadid Muhammad. But if he would have asked them about some of them brothers, nobody really know them anymore. The name they had, ones who was the top imams at Germantown Masjid, they not that anymore. The ones who was the top imam at this one, they not there no more. They might show up periodically to do a talk at them places. They might do a cook bar once a week or something. Everything is just broke up and disrupted. Even with like Salafi Inc., like he's saying, he trying to find a place to go to a masjid. They pray the wrong way. He can't go here because of that. But they don't have their own masjid. And all that stuff they did to tear Shadid Muhammad name down. And out of all the students, he's the only one out of the students and the ones who graduated to build a masjid from the ground up. Not buying a building and throwing some carpet in it. Building a building, designing it from the ground up. And it's built. They carpeting it. They just got the minbar finished like a few days ago. They want to open like maybe the first or second week in January. When you really look at it, and hindsight is 2020, look how Allah Azza wa Jal favored that man. These dudes, regardless of how they cap, it's some of them who got different names and this and that, and people who don't know about the cities, never went to them and see them on Twitter. They not even the imams of their masjid. I'm not going to say their names because I don't want to do that. But wallahi, like it was one of them. I'm going to tell you, I thought he was the imam of the masjid until I started having to have interactions with him due to some situations of marriages. Big name, Twitter finger, even warning against sheikhs and all type of stuff. And he not even the imam of the masjid. Never been. You know what I'm saying? They don't even let him be the imam of the masjid. And the person who is the imam ain't a graduate or nothing. But people who ain't never been to these areas, they think he the imam. They think that about all of them. They don't even be the imams of the masjid. Or they go to like masjids that's so downtrodden and broken down, and they really can't find anybody to come there, and they get employed at some of them. But you will notice after like a couple of years and this and that, they be gone. They be ending up getting fired all type of different stuff going on. Like I said, some of them even running down. They try to make like it's Chicago, but they really in the suburb. They coming down here trying to hold them, but it ain't working. It ain't working. But they did all this to tear Shadeed Muhammad down, man. And I'm talking about for years. Well, I'm gonna be honest with y'all. Wallahi, to some of the top cats in Germantown. Dude them had the Dawah Center, man. Wallahi. I told him, man, one day, wallahi. I said, man, y'all talk about Shadeed Muhammad so much, man, that I keep feeling like, man, one day I'm going to wake up, man, and y'all going to be talking about what color drawers he got on. You know what I'm saying? And then one of them like, man, you going to let him, you going to sit up there and I'm just telling y'all how I feel, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, y'all give him more publicity. Y'all don't want nobody to talk about him. Y'all claim nobody allowed to listen to him, but every time he say something, how do y'all know it? Y'all got, just like I said with Hassan Somali, nobody allowed to listen to him, right? How do he even know what he said on a TV show? It's because y'all listening to him. And the same marriage plan that he came up from you and him, they implemented to that Germantown. They was stealing his ideas. But like I said, so as I'm listening at him telling the story and to see how different he is, he even got with all them people that he was making up stuff and saying stuff and tarnishing their name. He rectified all that stuff within the last few years. He just had Dawood Adib on, you know what I'm saying, which the one who really got, as far as Philly, Dawood Adib was the one who really got it Salafia popping like that in Philly. You know what I'm saying? And you know, he made some mistakes. He did some different things. And you know, they pretty much got rid of him at Germantown Masjid. But he humbled himself and went back overseas and studied. And then he came back. So you know, he on there talking about how, you know, they basically trying to erase his name from Salafia. They really, if it wasn't for him, a lot of them wouldn't even know what Salafia is. But he also spoke ill on him, and he brought him back and had him on a podcast. You know, he apologized to him. He did the same thing with Khalid Green. Him and Khalid Green got together and did some podcasts. But to see the way he changed, you know what I'm saying? But to see all the time that was wasted, everybody that they warned against and was trying to tear down their name, they all basically got their own masjid. Abu Sajid and Ali Davis, they got their own masjid. Alhamdulillah, done had their own masjid for years with a clinic next to it. Shadeed Muhammad building one from the ground up. You know what I'm saying? One of the very few, not only just students, but African Americans, period, outside of a group. They was from Wharf Dean community, but Mike Tyson gave them like $250,000. You know Mike Tyson's wife Wharf Dean and her father Wharf Dean. So Mike Tyson gave them $250,000. They built one from the ground up. But it probably ain't 5 African Americans that built masjids from the ground up. And as far as being students and graduates and got their hot, Shadeed Muhammad might be the only one. But they did everything they could to destroy that man. And ain't none of them got their own masjid. You know what I'm saying? Tahir, he can have one, but he basically the consultant. Like he said, he don't want to be the imam. He basically the consultant of like 3 masjids, and he's a consultant of other Islamic communities. And he decide who the imams is or this and that. He not going nowhere unless he want to. Some of them don't even have no home. You know what I'm saying? Mufti the same way in Queens. It ain't his masjid, but he He's been the imam of that masjid for a very long time. And one thing that they won't tell y'all, when Dawood Adib had it, Mufti was his assistant imam, and he was like 15, 16 years old. He was basically running the masjid in Camden, New Jersey. He was giving the khutbahs and stuff at Germantown, a couple of masjids in Jersey, but he was the main imam of the masjid, the Salafi masjid in Camden. He's 16, 17 years old. And while they was older, a lot of them had to come listen to him give khutbahs. But see, that's the stuff that they won't tell y'all. So my point is to see how humbled he is, but to know the history and to see everybody that y'all tried to stomp out being set since they came home and got their own masjids. Y'all looking for somebody to hire, y'all. You know what I'm saying? So it just goes to show. But the way people present things and tear people down, and that side of the people that all y'all was trying to tear down, their whole thing was, look, all we need to do, just imagine if we all work together. Just imagine what we would do if we all worked together. No, we'll never work with y'all, this and that. We don't like nobody but us. You can't listen to nobody. But the growth, to this day, they still just parroting the same stuff from like 2012. To the point, just imagine that, where these top people who was doing all this boycotting and fighting, and they becoming ashery now. You know what I'm saying? Or completely, like, wallahi, you could go on YouTube. There's people who making videos from Germantown Masjid talking about why they completely leaving Islam because of the stuff that they went on there. You know, certain people who had issues with them. And like I said, I'm not trying to bash them. I'm not trying to badmouth them. And I'm not wanting to say that you can't learn nothing from them. You know, sitting up in debates, man, letting the Asheries put belt on them, man, behind simple stuff, you know. And it's just unfortunate. But my point is, it's really dividing and destroying a community. And I'm saying the stuff I've been looking at with it, I'm talking about since 2011, 2012. Just imagine all the good that could have been done. You know what I'm saying? Just like to hear him from Salafi Inc. saying how he had to look it around. He can't go over here and pray. They pray the wrong direction. This place an hour away. And I'm sitting back looking at like, dang, man, all that time, man, that all y'all got caught up in that warning against and fighting and tearing other people's name down. And then once y'all got done, all of y'all fought with each other. Y'all should have your own masjid. You know what I'm saying? Just like with me, within my situation, and seeing all the fighting and all the complaining, we this, that, and the third, I got my own masjid. I don't have to worry about none of that. Regardless of what y'all think about it, how anybody view it, I don't care. I got my own masjid. I got me enough Muslims want to do Jumu'ah service. Nobody got to work. Everybody cool. I could do Jumu'ah service right here. You know what I'm saying? Other than a couple of times I had to pray at work. You only need 2 people to pray congregation, which is what a lot of people don't know. Some would say 3. You know what I'm saying? But it don't matter. They'll say 2 for congregation, 3 for Jumu'ah. And then some would say 4. But I know enough Muslims to do all of that. I know how to do the Eid prayers by myself. It's been times to keep it 100, and I'm going to be honest with y'all. Because of the way I know how deep, it's times I done had to get up. When the Eid come, I get up and do the prayer early on my own. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes maybe 1 or 2 people, the actual Eid prayer. And then I may go somewhere they be having a khutbah, like one of the brothers, like I said, the brother who had the shirt, this, that, and the third. And then they want to have a little khutbah, and you know, we get together somewhere and do the Eid, this and that. I go to it, but the actual Eid prayer, I done already done it. Because I know it's every time I get with them to pray and this and that, it's always some type of an issue. And just like that issue, it's some nudity and different things going on. You know what I'm saying? So alhamdulillah, I had already made it. But, and just to see them, every time we get together in a group, come together, let's get a masjid, I always will come with them to help them because they need their own. But I done had my own real talk. I'm going to say, because sometimes it was just a bedroom. So I wouldn't have really called that no masjid. But it was big enough to where I could have gave cook bars and stuff from it. But from about 2015, maybe 2014, masjid, kid. You know what I'm saying? About a good 10 years in running, man. Because we about to be in 2025. You know what I'm saying? So, and it was even set up to where everybody, it was enough to hold everybody. But too much whining and pouting and causing division because people want to be NIWGA and still be Muslim. So with him doing the talk, he's talking about, and this is a key thing, he brought this up. And I said the same thing because the masjid was here. Wharf Dean specifically sent Imam Shabazz here. They registered with the eye care thing and all that, right? They established the first masjid here. And these people took it over. But Imam Shabazz and them never passed the torch down to where anybody could take it over. You know what I'm saying? All the education that these people had came from him. And see, that's why I be trying to explain, even with like some of these groups that people call you to, all your education is coming from this one particular person. But they never elevate you to be above them. So what people have to understand is, if your teacher is on a 5th grade level or a 6th grade level, and this is how they eat and this is how they maintain their life, they might only teach you on a 2nd grade level and you might just stay there. And then some of them who read like 48 Laws of Power and all that stuff and have all that, because I'm telling y'all, man, I done sat around them, I listen to these talks. The student can't never outshine the teacher. You could never outshine the master. How many of them is going to teach y'all to be greater than them? How many of them is going to teach y'all to be greater than them? You understand what I'm saying? It's very rare. And then some of them can't. And then you have some people who never graduated, never really sat with no scholars. They might have learned a little Arabic so they could read some books. But then they telling y'all don't listen to somebody who's a PhD in Hadiths, a PhD in Aqidah. They can't even teach you the first college level of Islam like them brothers can. But they tell y'all don't listen to them. And this is causing division. So like right now, some more of the division, like the stuff that's going on with the Asheries. Like right now, it's a brother who been arguing with himself in my comments for 2 days. I leave it up there for a little while, and then one of the new shahadas say something to me, then I delete it. He just was up there again. One of the new shahadas asked me about it, and after he asked me about it, I went and deleted it. You know why you don't get on the comments? Why you don't say nothing? Because he for the people who didn't see it, he had in a comment talking about know this and know this well. Now you want to hit me with a quote from Imam Ahmed ibn Hanbal, talking about Ahmed ibn Hanbal said that whoever say that Allah has a jism, which means body, right? Or some people will say body parts. Some people are translated to body parts. Then they're this, that, and the third. But for some reason, see, the only thing you're going to do is make me look at you and say something really wrong with you. Because I clearly said, and I repeat it again, I clearly said, Anybody who think Allah has like human hands because you knew and you don't really know, stop saying that. It's when it comes to Allah's face, it's not a human face, and it's something got to be really wrong in your mind. But see, I want to break it down to y'all, because some people, these difficulties come in when you say, well, Allah said it itself. No, Allah never said that, because Allah don't have speech. Allah can't talk. See, the Quran isn't the speech of Allah. Because to say that Allah said that, you're likening him to his creation. So you really can't get anywhere with him. Even if you say, well, it's right here in Allah's book. All I did was say what's right there in Allah's book. And I clearly said, this is not human parts. But they steady got to present that argument because they got to feel like we one up on you. We stomping you Salafis out. Y'all don't got no knowledge. What's your isnad? Sounded just like them same Salafis. But right now, a lot of people don't know it, and I like how they keep stuff private. Unlike the Salafis do, they facing their own turmoil. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like how I say this stuff is like the streets. Sometimes when you had gangs and they had enemies and they killed each other, and then some went to jail for being killers or getting caught with guns, or they was the hustlers, or they got caught with dope. Then so the war kind of died down, and then these gangs start fighting and killing each other, getting locked up and telling on each other and getting each other locked up. It's like the same thing. These people wasted all this time, ain't produced not one Hafid, ain't produced a mass amount of Arabic speaking thorough individuals. You got people who've been Salafi for 20 years and still can't explain Salafiyah. And I know this because like I'm telling you, I've seen them in debates. But the point is, this stuff caused division. And y'all have to know, that's why I always say, when somebody coming and talking to y'all and saying stuff, know their understanding about Islam first. Because somebody, when you saying Allah said this, to them Allah ain't said that. Because the Quran is not the speech of Allah. So they'll come at you trying to prove this and that. Oh, you think this. Oh, you a deviant. You need to understand this. But then turn around and celebrate the Prophet's birthday. Turn around and talk about how thorough Kevin Gates is. And I'm telling y'all this because I seen them. You could sit up and say to some of them, hey man, is music around? Nah, man, that's that Wahhabi stuff. And then they'll sit around and praise because I done seen it. They'll play music. They you know, we all have issues with music in some type of way. Because like even with me, sometimes when I'm watching a movie or something, or I may be watching, you know, I watch a lot of workout videos. I watch a lot of boxing, and you know, people might be in the gym working out and they have music playing or something, or I'm watching a fight and they coming out to some music, and then I hear a song that I used to like back in the day, and it'll blow my mind because I still know every single word of it. But like right now, it's certain ayats, it's certain Quran ayats that I learned early on that was in the like in the short surahs. And some of them I forget it. Allah calls me to forget it because I didn't take care of it. But some of these songs will come on and I still know every word and probably ain't even heard the song in 20 years. And see, just like an example popped up in my head, you know, being a young child, kind of like in a Michael Jackson era. Right now, popped up in my head as me thinking of stuff. Some Michael Jackson song just went through my head. A few lines of it. And if it played, I probably could sing it all. You know what I'm saying? Numerous songs. without me even knowing it. I probably know over 100 something songs as far as R&B, rap. If they play, I just ain't never tried it, but I know I do. But it's 114 surahs and I can't do it. But my point is, this stuff causes division. You see what I'm saying? So over here we got this masjid. You know, you might have 3 Salafi masjids in one city, but none of them like each other. They claim they not Salafi, but just imagine, and it ain't like a really big city. Just imagine if everybody was able to come together under one masjid. And like dude said, like I said with he naming the thing, like, man, one of the, you know, in 1975, like when Elijah Muhammad died, like he said, a lot of these masjids is legacy masjids when it comes to the urban Muslims, right? And he said, what I mean by legacy, y'all should check the video out, man. Y'all might get a different message than I get, because I'm going to look at the history and see how much different he is now. I'm actually proud of him. And, you know, by him able to look at himself as, man, I was once part of the problem. You know what I'm saying? And now I'm not. You know what I mean? Like, I'm really trying to change, but I'm looking for a masjid to go to instead of my own. That's what I got. He didn't say it like that, but like he said, and see, like by me, I listen and intermingle with everybody else. I still got my ties with some of them. Some of them we don't have no issues. I just don't have no desire to really talk to them, because I don't want to hear that foolishness, man. So, but on the other side, the people was always saying, busy yourself with knowledge. Don't sit around trying to busy yourself with warning against this one, warning against that one. They even start trying to make up stuff against scholars because the scholars told the truth about them, making whole articles. And because the people was so hand to mouth, you can only listen to this list. Like, it used to crack me up, because one year they have a whole list and we'll say 20 people on it. 6 months later, they done removed 7-8 people off of it. They done kicked them off of it. Then the next year, they done kicked them off and then added this one back on. Whoever was willing to fall in line with what they had going on. But on the other side, the Salafis who, and we just Muslim, we understand Salafi is a minhaj. Busy yourself with knowledge, man. Learn. You know what I'm saying? And leave that alone, because some people not prepared for on the day of Yom Kippur if they lose some of their deeds, because they owe these people for what they did. And I look, like I said, it was a huge campaign to destroy Shadid Muhammad. It was a huge campaign to destroy Ali Davis. It was a huge campaign to destroy Tahir Wyatt. It was a huge campaign to destroy Mufti Muhammad. Even to the point where they made up videos and lied on him, talking about his scholar said, his teacher said he was a miskin student and he didn't graduate. Mufti got a master's and could have got his PhD. And to tell y'all the truth, I think he got it. He just didn't want to announce it, because he was telling a story about a person who really got his PhD and kept it quiet because he didn't want nobody to start calling him Sheikh. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, they made up fake videos and copied and pasted and lied. The person was really talking about, I ain't gonna say his name, this is the crazy part about it, he was really talking about one of the Salafis from that Salafi side who flunked out of the University of Medina. And they just took the part, and then they said he was talking about Mufti Muhammad. So, wallahi, a brother called the Sheikh, you know what I'm saying, and said, you know, Mufti didn't ask me to do this. But I said, that can't be right, because for one, Mufti graduated. What do you mean Mufti said he was a lazy student because they wanted to tear down Mufti's name? You know what I'm saying? Because, now I will say this person's name just so that people go look it up. Musa Richardson tried to say something about him that was a mistake. So Mufti put a video out not refuting Musa Richardson but telling the truth about the situation. And people still waiting for Musa Richardson to say something to this day. But because he did that, they made up the fake refutation thing. But just listen to how all this stuff caused division. Because see, you have to understand, if things start to function and operate the way that it's supposed to be, certain people who superstars not going to be superstars when they mingle with superstars. You see what I'm saying? And all this is division. And all of this is creating a gang-like culture between the brothers and the sisters, man. To the point where they making up fake refutations. This real talk. And I'm not gonna say their name. You know what I'm saying? Because it's too much about people thinking this and stuff going too far. People who actually felt like cool people now, just due to some extreme petty type stuff, we might never be cool again, all over nothing, but it really ain't from me. But anyway, so I'm gonna put it this way. There was a sister, cause I don't want it to seem like I'm just some guy with all these women and this and that. Because of how I am, I laugh and I joke and I say this and that, but somebody is always trying to get me married off. You know what I'm saying? I mean, all the time, somebody is trying to get me married off. So, a particular person had wanted, introduce me to this Salafi sister. And we was in this little group. And I remember the sister, she was always in the niqab and all this other stuff, right? And she was saying some stuff about race, about blacks and white and this and that. And, it kind of tripped me out the way that she said it, because you would have thought she was black the way she said it, but she was a niqabi. So anyway, a person, wanted me to, that's a good sister, you should consider her for marriage, I think she want to talk to you, this and that. So she had a wakil. Okay, cool, she got a wakil. Yeah. So we get to talking, right? She ended up being white. And she was from Baltimore or either DC. I think she was from DC, but she went to the Salafi Masjid in Baltimore. But anyway, so when I ended up seeing she was white, I was like, okay. But then I said, let me go through the process. I ain't no racist, you know what I'm saying? Like my sister mixed, you know what I'm saying? My grandmother white. So, I just never, But anyway, that's neither here nor there. So I said, okay, she's Salafi. Of course, the Salafi side that don't like nobody. So, we get to talking and this and that. And when I'm talking to her wakil, we cool, we hitting it off. You know what I'm saying? He an older cat too. He probably about 70. So he basically, long story short, he wanted me to say something bad about Shadeed Muhammad. Wallahi. So I told him, I'm not finna say nothing bad about him or anybody else that I don't know about for sure. If I didn't see it and I don't know nothing about it, I'm not going to say nothing about it. Now, if I see it or I know about it and other people need to be told the truth about it, then I'll do it. He said, well, if the scholars warn against them, it's mandatory that you do it. I said, okay, you tell me what scholars said something about him and show me what they said, then I'll do it. I said, man, what? I said, man, there's probably like 100-something scholars in Medina, man, at a minimum. How many scholars said something about him? He said, it don't matter. I said, well, you saying the scholars warned against him. You saying all 100 of them said something about him? If the scholars say something, they said something. All right, cool. What did they say? All I know is that they warned against him. Because, see, I know the reality. One scholar said, and this is why Shadeed Muhammad was still in school, I fear that he would take somebody off the path of Salafiyah. You don't have to call yourself Salafi. But it wasn't based off of something he seen him doing. It was based off of them coming telling him Shadeed did this and Shadeed did that. So he didn't even know if it was the truth. And that's one thing people have to worry about and fall into. If you don't know it for sure, just like because the dean tell you, even if it's a Fasik, or if you feel like it's a trustworthy person and they come telling you something, go ahead and investigate it. If you're going to get out there and warn against the person. If I know what's going on and I see it, especially if somebody trying to involve me in it, I'm going to say something. So me trying to get him to understand, I have to see it. When I see it or I know about it for sure, you can't even tell me what scholars said anything about him or what they said. So he told the sister, that brother not fit for marriage because he won't warn against Shadeed Muhammad. And it was funny because she hit me back up and she was crying. Like, I'm going to give me another Wakil, I'm going to find me another Wali, this and that. I'm sick of this community. You know what I'm saying? And then, she wanted me to like basically find somebody and this and that. But I already knew, not really because of him. It was just certain things she was saying or doing because she wanted me to find her one. I was like, nah, I ain't going to do that. So what she did though, but I seen, she needed a little help because she didn't really have no knowledge. But she was super Salafi. She was in niqab. And they sitting around gatekeeping who she married, but she didn't have no knowledge. So me trying to help her. So what she did was, wallahi, it was a whole weekend. She was off work. And for that whole weekend, all she did was sit down and watch Shadeed Muhammad videos. And after she would watch certain videos, you know what I'm saying? And then she hit me on a FaceTime, this and that. And she would say which video she was finna watch. I would pop it in and we would be on a FaceTime and we would sit back and watch the Shadeed Muhammad videos. And she was like, he's not saying anything wrong. Why they got a problem with him? I said, that's the problem. It's because he's saying everything right. You know what I'm saying? And when you're too right, the people that's wrong, it shows. That's the problem. It ain't what he's saying wrong, it's what he's saying that's right. You just listen to that man. You done listen to him for a whole weekend. Now you don't want to listen to them no more, want to listen to him. They got to keep you away from him. You understand? So, and I'm sharing that because just to show the division. They told that sister, you can't marry him. He's not fit for marriage because he won't say nothing bad about Shadeed Muhammad. All of this stuff caused division. But the only people who really building something of significance is all the people that's being talked bad about. You just have to know how to look at the bigger picture. And they put that blindfold on people's eyes and say, you're not allowed to listen to anybody that's not in this group. And then just like some of my guys who was in the Salafi thing, I used to be like, man, that ain't strange to you. Just think about it. How is it that every time one of them people say something that they don't like, or every time they at a masjid, they're going to do a talk at another masjid, how do they know? How do they know what they said? It's because they listen to them, bruh. They just telling y'all not to. So the only story y'all know is theirs. You know what I'm saying? How many of them is built like, and see, I don't even show this because it's not really a big deal. And then some people may feel some type of way about me, but I'm going to show it. 1 second. And I'm not showing this to say I'm any better than anybody. And I'm going to put it up there. I got to put my finger right there, man, because I don't want that part to show. But right here, I can't even see what's actually showing. But anyway, I don't know how blurry it is. This is my completion of Imam training that I did with Shadid Muhammad. You know what I'm saying? It was very intensive. It was very thorough. But I'm only showing that to show he's trying to elevate people to his level. Just like right now, some of these individuals and the Imam training, the books and stuff that we went through came from the University of Medina. So like right now, some of y'all who been going to all these masjids, these top Salafi masjids, these top Ashari masjids, how many of y'all doing Imam training? How many of y'all trying to pass down the baton for y'all to become Imams from books from the University of Medina, where they learned it as a class, as a student? Some people been going to the same masjid 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, and they ain't even trying to make them no Imam. And this right here, just to show how long ago this was, let me cover that up and put it up there. If you can see it good, it might be blurry. It's in my face, so I can't see what's showing. This was awarded on July 30th, 2022. So in a few months, that's going to be 3 years ago. You know what I'm saying? Very intensive. Very serious. You know what I'm saying? And I'm talking about we went through a whole lot. And I'll say this. I had gave cook bars before I went through that, because it's Imam training. The focal point was on giving an effective cook bar, but we went through everything. How to run a masjid, how to set up, how to deal with this, just a whole lot of stuff. And some of it I do, how to be relatable. A lot of it I learned through my Imam training. How to connect with the people. It's a plus how to make enough people feel like when you say something, all of them feel like you talking about them. And as y'all can see, but on the flip side, I'm having issues with it though. Because it ain't alhamdulillah. It's to the flip side. You know what I'm saying? And people just didn't. So it's coming off a different type of way. Like I say, even with the one that I show you, I don't even really know them. I just they hit me up just like everybody else. They asked about some lessons, things that I said in the video, a question here or there. Nothing inappropriate. And wallahi, even the ones who feel like I'm talking about them and they say this and that, all of them, if they honest, they can all, but I don't want them to show themselves, but they'll get in there and say, even some of them who've been knowing me for years, I ain't never said nothing inappropriate to them. And I ain't never did nothing but try to help them. But, unfortunately, with these videos, certain things they take personal. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not sure why. One of them, I'm going to be honest, and this just for me. Because then, things probably could have went into a different realm. Because they started getting different on me. And like I said, I've been knowing them for years. So when they started getting different on me, I'm talking about done deal some little wakil things and other little situations and involve myself in other things, but I'm not going to go into no details. So when they started getting different on me, I'm just going to be honest. So I just asked them flat out. I was like, man, do you like me? They said, nah, I don't like you. All right, cool. You know what I'm saying? Now, if they would have said, yeah, then we probably could have entered a different conversation. I only asked them because they started displaying behaviors I had never seen before, and I've been knowing them for years. So I'm like, do you like me or something? They was like, nah, I don't like you. I was like, all right, cool. And then we just continue on like that. And I'm talking about, but I had to ask them this recently. You know what I'm saying? Like something going on. You know what I'm saying? But I've never said nothing inappropriate. So like, even if the people who hit me up and ask me for this, a lesson, ask me a question, this and that, I'm just gonna answer it. So like, maybe, you know, in my head, okay, maybe she trying to say this because maybe she want me, maybe she wanna be on my mind. Maybe she wanted to turn into a what's your WAKIL number. I don't know. Because I didn't do nothing to warrant her saying what she said to me in that message. So my point is, man, I watched all this fighting and warning and jumping on Twitter and coming to people's Facebook page and going to their videos or on their lives trying to argue and destroy them, but they really destroyed themselves. You know what I'm saying? They may have harmed some of them people honor, just an inkling, but you can't stop the Qadr of Allah. Y'all did everything y'all could to tear that man down. How many of y'all built a masjid from the ground up? And inshallah, that man masjid will be open in January. It's built. It's nice. You know what I'm saying? Nice carpet and everything going in it. You know, yeah, a lot of donations and stuff had to go on. Of course, but masjids have to get donations. But he got it done. And, in an area where he was seeing Muslims and, they complaining, we ain't got no masjid. There's no classes here. Or there is a masjid, but there's no classes. There's no nothing. And, like he had like an online masjid during COVID. And, like there was, like right now they finna have a winter conference. Gonna have some heavy hitters there. Unfortunately, some people not allowed to listen to it or don't think that they should. By some people, unfortunately, who telling them this type of stuff, and they can't even stay employed in a masjid, man, unfortunately. You know what I'm saying? They ain't, and just like I said, everybody think this person is the imam at a masjid and this and that, and it cracked me up. I ain't gonna say his name, but I seen a thing that he had put online, like all the cook bars done by this person is checked by me. You just still gotta make yourself important. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, me showing that I went through my imam training with Shadeed Muhammad, wallahi, this is a real certificate. This ain't nothing I printed up myself and just made up to show he's trying to elevate people. It was me and the whole, it was people, it was plenty of people. I'm just gonna put it that way. I think the youngest person was like maybe 15. You know what I'm saying? The youngest person in there was like 15. It was like maybe 6 young people, 15, 16. It was a brother who was like maybe about 55, maybe 60. And he was trying to move into the imam position in his masjid. He was in Brooklyn, New York. He was from Brooklyn, New York. You know what I'm saying? Beautiful thing. But he's trying to elevate people. And it was funny because he issued out a challenge and said to all the imams, I want to challenge y'all to make somebody just as great as you or better. Grab the sharpest minds of the youth in y'all masjid and start teaching them to be imams. And then I seen people, they started responding. It was almost like he took a pen and bust a bubble. See, the problem with that is this and that. Just try. Well. But see, like right now, you look at Abu Sajid now. They doing serious imam training for the youth. I think they've been doing it for about a year. They getting them together. You look at the Qari Institute. Man, Tahir and them, I say with him coming home, within the first year of him being home, man, they produced like 10 Hafids. They got the Qari Institute where they already producing Hafids. Hafids of the Quran. Arabic speakers. Some of these masjid where they claim to be the best and everybody run up to them, ain't producing not one half Hafid in their masjid. I'm just keeping it real, man. I'm just keeping it Dougie. They not even producing fluent Arabic speakers. But they got the top-notch everything. You know, they'll give you the little basics, the little 1-2s, and sometimes, you know, if you stick with it, to this and that, but nobody really be able to, or they don't hold it long enough where people become fluent. Now, I ain't going to say, from what I know of, you know, I know they trying to get a little better because they done had to change a lot of what they had going on because the scholars was getting on them so much. These cats they going around looking for jobs, B. You the man, but your masjids got rid of you. You know what I'm saying? One of them dealing with so much, man. That man announced earlier this year he done teaching indefinitely. I ain't teaching, no. I'm done teaching indefinitely. Whether he turned back on it, I don't know. But something going on. But my point is, all that arguing and bickering and just trying to go destroy people and tear people down just because y'all don't see things the exact same way. Just like I say, this man been in my comments arguing with himself for 2 days over something I never even said. Over something I never even said. If he sat down and paused long enough, he might be like, oh, wow. We actually agree on that. We actually agree that Allah doesn't have human hands. That's the point right there. You can't get them to sit down long enough to understand we don't think Allah has human hands either. But see, it comes into the thing where Allah said this, and then they have to say, well, no, Allah didn't say anything. Because to say that Allah has speech is likening him to his thing. But at the same time, like I said, they had no problems with going to the graves and praying to Imam Bukhari. You know, they have no problems with doing Sufi dhikr circles and Sufi sheikhs who done passed away and going to their graves and saying certain things. None of this is a problem. Celebrating birthdays, talking about Kevin Gates and listening to Kevin Gates music, and none of that is a problem. But I'm finna argue with myself in your comments for 2 days over something you never even said. It's automatically Wahhabi Aqidah. But then turn around and show a statement from Imam Ahmed that I agree with. And even saying this same stuff that y'all talking about is Aqidah Wahhabi. I mean Wahhabi Aqidah. I'm saying how all the 4 Imams had that same Aqidah. But you're going to prove me wrong by posting the Imam saying what I said they say. This stuff caused division, man. That's why I told them little new Shahada brothers, y'all get on out there. You know what I'm saying? It was even a brother here. After we had some discussions, I told him, get out here and mingle. Go on, start intermingling. You need to see what's what. You know what I'm saying? Then move forward with your plans. You know what I'm saying? But, sometimes, but anyway, so that's what I'm saying to them young brothers, man. Y'all starting to see what's what? I leave those comments up just so that y'all can see them. And with y'all even being new Muslims, y'all able to look at that stuff like, what is this guy even talking about? It's just like some people, as soon as they hear the word Salaf or Salafi, they, like I said in my videos, they train to automatically bring Wahhabi into it. Just automatically. Don't even know what's said. As soon as they hear the word Salafi, Wahhabi, 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 Wahhabi. Automatically. You know what I'm saying? The Saudi government is Wahhabi. Sheikh Uthaymeen, Wahhabi. Ibn Kathir, Wahhabi. They'll go to, you know what I'm saying? They'll go to the grave and pray to Sahih Bukhari, but then at the same time reject some of the hadiths in this book. Because they may say Allah is above his throne. It may say the Rasul said, I swear by the one that my hands is in. You know what I'm saying? Then they want to throw their look, oh, he's a Moses. But then turn around and go to his graves and pray to him. Something is wrong with that. So y'all be careful, man. Stay focused, man. Think good of your brothers, man. Because, like I say, it's some Ashris I'm cool with. We actually could have been cool. You know what I'm saying? You still Muslim to me. Some of them be thorough. Just like I said, a man Manoawi. I'm not one of those just because I'm talking about Aqidah and it may seem similar to the Salafis that you hate. So you train to automatically attack me because you think I'm an individual that hate everybody that's not part of a certain clique. When that same clique I have issues with me. Because I know the reality of what's going on with them. Some of them will say I ain't Salafi too. But they can't prove that. It's just based off of, well, you don't go to this masjid. Oh, you won't say nothing bad about Shadid Muhammad. I got imam training from the University of Medina from Shadid Muhammad. Can I get that from one of y'all? Point me in a direction where I can go learn how to become an imam. Oh, you don't need no training to be no imam. And I'm going to tell you this. Once I went through that training and got that certificate and learned the structure, and like I said, this was from real books. I look at Qutbars different now. I look at how masjids is ran different now. You know what I'm saying? I see, because like I said, I gave Qutbars before. But the way things, not just going to the internet, looking at a format, you just do this and put this in there. It changed everything. Not only did it change about giving the Qutbars, it changed how I viewed Islam and dealing with Muslims. Yeah. Oh man, Shadid Muhammad, this. Hey man, that brother taught me how to be an imam. Can you do it? That person who you listening to with all that mouth, that Ashri cat, y'all coming in here with all that mouth. Can I get some real certified imam training from y'all? From the University of Medina? No. Get out of here with that. You know what I'm saying? Get out of here with that. I don't want to hear it. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to hear it. You're not going to stunt my growth. You understand? And not just him, it's other people. I got all type of different ijazas and all type of stuff. Yeah. You got any real ijazas? Nope. You get any real ijazas at that masjid? Nope. Well, shut up. You know what I'm saying? If I can't get what I'm getting from the same people, the only thing I can get from them is who not to listen to, who I should say something bad about when I don't even know if they done anything. You can get away from me with that. I'm supposed to just go to people's comments and argue with myself for 2 days over something that they never even said? We could have messed around and been cool. You know what I'm saying? You could have messed around and been traveling and coming through the city or something, and could have been in a sticky situation and say, hey, I come in the area. You You know this and that. Can you send some people to aid and assist me? I'd be like, yeah, man. What's your location? You never know. Just like it's a hadith, and I take this hadith to heart and been taking it for years. The hadith, and I'm gonna paraphrase it. Sometimes don't be too super close with the people that you close with, because they might turn into enemies. And then the people who may be perceived as enemies or don't like you, don't be too harsh and mistreat them, because one day they might become your best friend when you're dealing with Muslims. So you got to take a middle ground when you're dealing with Muslims. Just like, I'm going to tell y'all a true story, man. And I was watching a video, some young brothers from Philly want to start them up a little YouTube, a little vlogging channel. They take it up on themselves to drive the O Block in Chicago. Right? They pop up in O Block around 1:30, 2 in the morning with video cameras out trying to vlog, because they knew Muslims was there. But they didn't announce they was Muslims. They wasn't in thobes and none of that, but they had on beards. And what happened? Just like how I said when I went to that, when I'm up, but see, I know how to move around out there. When them cats get to yelling, concrete, 6'4", when them cats get to yelling from out the cut and you don't know how to respond, or you respond the wrong way, they swarm you. Hey, check it out, check it out. And luckily they had the cameras on, because them cats came up on them. Hey man, who told you to come around here? Who you with? What's up with these cameras, man? Oh, nothing, man. We from Philly. We just wanted to vlog, man. What you think this is, an amusement park? Now, if I take all y'all stuff, we gonna be wrong, ain't we? You know what I'm saying? Oh, no, brother. You know, we from the trenches. We know how I go. If you from the trenches, what you popping up like this for with cameras? Who sent you? Who told you should come here? Right? Hey, turn them cameras off, man, and get out of here, man. We gonna let y'all get up out of here. So then when they turned the cameras off, they waited till they went to their car and had everything off, and then when it took their equipment. Okay? When it took their equipment. So they was able to call one of the Muslims in Philly, and then he called Sadiq in Chicago. The one who got the Muslimatic store, he called Sadiq. Sadiq got up out of bed, and just by the way the story went, he already knew who took the equipment. So he called the Muslims and them there, and then had them come meet, and he had the Muslims get them their equipment back. And then the dudes then was like, man, why y'all just say y'all was Muslim, man? They was like, well, man, you know, we didn't know. And you know, the old block cats hugged them there, like, man, my bad, man, salam alaikum, man. And they told each other that they love him. You know what I'm saying? Why y'all didn't just say y'all was Muslim? Oh, man, well, you know, we didn't know. But see, sometimes you just never know. They had to call somebody in Philly who happened to just know Sadiq. And they could have been Ashry, they could have been this, they could have been different that, but it was a Muslim ties. And see, some people don't know to take that in mind. You know what I'm saying? What if you in a situation, you might be in a situation in a whole nother city and be able to hit me on telephone, hey, Ahmed, you know anybody in this city? Yeah, I know a couple of people, I know some sisters, I know this and that. Hey man, it's a brother over there, you know, woo wop the woo. Can y'all aid and assist them? You know what I'm saying? But instead, you want to come to a page and argue with yourself for 2 days over something that was never even said. This stuff is dividing the communities, man. You got this masjid here, you got this masjid here, this masjid here, this masjid there. And all four of these masjids is fighting and hate each other, won't salam each other, be in the same stores, might have same family members, all over something that's stupid, that really go against Islam. You know what I'm saying? But be best friend with a kafir that they work with. You know what I'm saying? Celebrating Prophet Muhammad's birthday. What's the isnad for that? Oh, you don't need an isnad. We love him. If anybody who don't do it don't love him. So you saying Abu Bakr don't love him? You saying Umar, Uthman, Ali didn't love him? Aisha? May Allah have mercy on all of them and be pleased with them all. They lived past him. They didn't celebrate his birthday when he was living and when he transitioned. So they don't love him? Y'all slandering his companions? What's your isnad for that? Just totally backwards. You see what I'm saying? Trying to be confrontational. And your whole thing is we trying to stomp out the bad behaviors of the Salafis. But some of y'all was ex-Salafis and y'all just running around picking up the same bad behavior. You know what I'm saying? And already imploding. Y'all already imploding just like them. It ain't got enough bad yet because it ain't been enough years. That stuff don't do nothing no good. But let me get up off of here, man. So I can, do what I gotta do, man. But like I said, man, that's just something I want to point out to y'all. Individuals who want to try to tell me, say something bad about Shadeed Muhammad so you can marry his sister. Can you teach me how to be an imam that's balanced from a real curriculum that came from the University of Medina? From scholars, the way that it's been passed on from generation to generation to generation. Can you do that for me? No. But you could say something bad about Shadeed Muhammad just because somebody else told you to when you don't even know if you should be doing it or not. I'm going to get some benefit. Or you can't listen to this, you can't listen to that one. But like I said, even when you go to I clearly know that when you go to the isnads that's like in Sahih Bukhari and some of them, it's ashrays in the chains of narrations. What we gonna do? Throw Bukhari away? See, I'm not one of them people that had that belief. I know what's what. Some of y'all picking up Sahih Bukhari and reading it. It's ashrays in the chains of narration. Certain people that certain Salafis would call deviants. You know what I'm saying? Y'all can't do me like that, man. I know better. So again, do that mean I agree with every last thing I ever heard Shadeed Muhammad say? No, it don't. You know what I'm saying? Do that mean everybody who hear me agree with every last thing that I say? But this is something that I learned early on. It was times where people said stuff and I didn't agree with them. Then when I got in some classes, I learned very quick. I didn't disagree with them because they was wrong. I disagreed with them because I was wrong. So I learned very quick when I hear somebody say something, I don't automatically be like, nah, that don't sound right. I don't agree with that. I go look into it first. And if I know them and have a relationship with them, I hit them up like, can you give me a little clarity on that to make sure I'm not understanding it? I learned that very early on. And it'll help a lot of people because communication really be the key. And that's what I'm starting to learn. Some people really don't know how to communicate. They only know how to communicate through social media. So because that's their way of communicating, they automatically think that's how everybody is communicating with them too. And that's not always the case. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, man, hopefully, man, y'all take something from this, man. Watch the brother video, man. Pure Islam, balanced brother. You know, I like them brothers out of there. Like I said, and I'm being honest, wallahi, the Salafi ink clicked. I liked them better than all of them because I liked everybody out of that clique. With Abu Khadijah clique, y'all don't even really know nobody else out of Abu Khadijah clique. You know what I'm saying? Where's the Abu Khadijah that Abu Khadijah made? Y'all probably can't even name them. When it comes to Salafi pubs, S pubs, who's Abu Khadijah number 2? Who's his number 3? Do y'all really know? Right now today? When it comes to some of these other ones. You know what I'm saying? So, out of the cliques and this and that, I liked them the most. Like I said, I just felt some type of way, man, when they let Anwar press him and told him they wasn't warning against Shadid Muhammad enough. And then because they wasn't, Anwar started warning against them and started saying stuff like because they wasn't warning against Shadid Muhammad enough, basically they was just like him. They agreed with him. So they they was already warning against him, but they just wasn't going overboard like they was. So after that, I ain't saying that was the key, but I seen them start warning against him more, and I was just like, man, y'all brothers is something else. Because to keep it 100 with y'all, out of their whole clique, Hassan Somali was the only one that I listened to. But I knew other ones had more knowledge than him. He made a lot of mistakes, but he knew how to deliver a message. But his mistakes wasn't like, if you didn't really study, you wouldn't notice them. He was more of a dynamic speaker than some of them. But M-wise, Jamil had all them dudes, man. Straight up. Jamil had all them cats. I ain't even gonna lie. In my opinion. I used to listen to Jamil, but, I ain't gonna go into that, man, and make these videos any longer, man. But take heed, man. And to see where Salafi Inc. is now, the way they turned on them brothers, man. And now they had to go repair all these relationships. But I look back and say, had y'all never imploded and started fighting and destroying each other, would y'all would have made Toba with Dawood Adib Nim and Khalid Green and reached out to Tahir, and I'm talking about they made like about an hour something long video apologizing to Shadid Muhammad. And I'm talking about they had 3-4 brothers coming out speaking, telling the truth about what went on, and they was all apologizing, saying they hope it reached Shadid Muhammad. We hope this video reach him. I was like, wow. And I wasn't even watching none of their videos until it was announced that they was making that video. That was the first video of theirs I ever watched. Because the way everything was going on, I didn't even know they had split up and started making their own separate pages on YouTube. And like when I see them, I don't know if they got something going on amongst each other, but they don't, maybe they just getting older. I don't see them clicked up like I used to. But again, I don't pay attention to them no more. But all I'm saying is, man, just like me looking at that, y'all did all that to destroy that man. And you listening to a video where a person said, y'all know Shadid Muhammad, and everybody in the masjid knew him, even the young people, and liked him. Ask about some of these other people who tried to destroy him. They ain't gonna know them either. Or they might know him and don't like him. And this was in a Salafi masjid. Okay? Hey, and yes, Shadid Muhammad Masjid that he's building from the ground up is a Salafi masjid. But of course no, that ain't no Salafi masjid. Why isn't it? Because we didn't approve of it. Get out of here with that. You know what I'm saying? And like I say, this don't make me the best person in the world, the most knowledgeable person in the world, but it give me something that a whole lot of other people don't have that run their mouth. Where yours at? And I got my notebook and I got everything and I got detailed notes. I wrote down almost everything word for word. You know what I'm saying? Almost word for word. I go back and look at that, my whole notebook. You know what I'm saying? Because it was extensive. Like I'm talking about, I hurt my hand writing notes. And I still got them, and I go back and look at them from time to time. You ain't finna tell me something, man, where that's just like Ibn Qayyim al-Jawzi, and I'm finna get off of this, man. Said a wise man doesn't choose poison over honey. And may Allah Azza wa Jal reward that brother and allow it to weigh heavy on his scale of good deeds for teaching us that. He ain't have to do that. He ain't have to do that, man. You know what I'm saying? I mean, yeah, it cost a couple of bucks, but it wasn't like no arm and a leg where he like really profited off of it. He really took the bulk of the money, man, and fed everybody. You know what I'm saying? For everybody that was there. Like, it was in the masjid. I'll say it was like maybe 6 of us who was online through the Zoom, where we on a thing. So like the ones who was there, they had to get up on the minbar, like when we went through the training and all that, who was there with them. You know, we seen, you know, like when they took the break, we seen all the food and this and that. And then like but I was at home. But due to the time zones, like wallahi, I was in class, man, probably like, I think I had to be in class at like 6 a.m. Early, man. Like 6 a.m. And the way it was, we would be in class for 4 hours, and then we would take a 2-hour break, and then we would be in class for 4 more hours. Yeah, it was real. Or 4 hours and then 3. We'd take a break 2 hours and then 3 hours or something like that. It was real, B. You know what I'm saying? It was real. But anyway, man, let me get up off of here, man. And that's all I'm saying. Had I listened to people and do this and that, I wouldn't have got this benefit from him. It's a lot of people that I got some benefit from. They had nothing to offer me. The only thing they had to offer me is who I need to hate and who I need to not like and who page I need to go jump on and argue with. Even if I'm making up an argument. That's all they had to offer me, to keep it 100 with you. Outside of that, you know, and to keep it 100 with you, when they had classes, I made sure that it was a book I had and had read. So I used to listen to, you know, Hassan Somali, some of his live classes on Sunday. And sometimes I was just like, you know. But anyway, I ain't gonna do that. You know what I'm saying? So, Assalamu alaikum rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, man. So, I don't think the division is ever gonna stop. I don't see us ever coming together as a whole, city to city, because it done got too bad. And I hate to say this, the people who set the tone for it is a particular group that don't like anybody. This behavior started with them. I'm not going to say what they manhaj or what. I'm just going to say it was a particular group where this started from. And now you have different groups who they're becoming the exact same thing. They done created some monsters. Learn your deen. Okay? Especially you youths. Learn your deen. If you in a masjid, just like how here, I done seen people, man, say, been in the masjid, involved in the masjid since 89, I think they said. And in 2024 said they ain't never learned why one thing from that masjid. But I can't say, man, you probably need to go somewhere else. Because some places it's the only masjid. Just like when y'all go listen to dude. If y'all go listen to it, you know what I'm saying? If I shut up, y'all probably can go listen to him. But how some people they just don't have anything. And like dude said, some of these smaller cities, and this is something he wouldn't have said years ago. He said some of these smaller areas that don't have no masjid or particular type of masjid, I would rather they had a Tablighi Jamaat masjid. I'm making it clear, I don't agree with him. But some Islam is better than no Islam. And people can at least pray. You can pray in any masjid. You know what I'm saying? If there's nothing else to go pray in. You know what I'm saying? And like here, it's a Tablighi Jamaat masjid here. So I feel what he's saying. I feel exactly what he's saying. So learn y'all deen, man. Stay away from that arguing and stuff. Y'all might see me laugh and joke with one or two of my comments, and then some of them, I just let them argue with themselves for a few days. You know, have fun, man. You know what I'm saying? But for the ones who I really talk to, like, just imagine that. You're going to celebrate Prophet Muhammad's birthday, right? You're going to listen to Kevin Gates, and you're going to praise all these other type of Muslims, right? But then you want to come in and try to have an argument with something that was never even said. There's something going on with that. Y'all, we don't want to become that. You feel me? So get y'all education up, man. Busy yourself with knowledge. And don't let people pigeonhole you. Because like I said, just for all the people, they could have heard Shadeed Muhammad was doing some imam training. It's going to be intensive. It's going to last this amount of days. It's going to be this many hours and this and that. Oh no, man, you learn from a deviant. You sat with a deviant. Show me the scholars who said that. Because that man, when he opened his masjid, he probably going to do it. He probably going to have telelinks and Zooms with scholars. You know what I'm saying? For every scholar that y'all try to say nobody said, didn't say nothing to him, he could probably multiply that for scholars that he talked to. Just like how they said the same thing about Ali Davis and Abu Sajid. The scholars warned against them. The scholars said this and the scholars said that. They started bringing scholars to Philly. Yeah, wallahi. They brought one in 2024. And the scholar stayed like a couple of weeks and sat down and taught in the masjid. People in Philly got to go sit in the masjid with a scholar in 2024. And then it was live online. Even if you had questions, I got to sit down and watch them have a scholar sit right in them same chairs that they be sitting with. Doing what scholars do. But the scholars don't like them. When the last time y'all brought some scholars? The scholars love y'all so much. The scholars praise y'all so much. Y'all ain't bringing no scholars to Philly. Let's just be real. All these other people bringing scholars, doing lives with scholars. But like I say, I don't even be in tune with them like that. But now every time, I go watch them every once in a while. I ain't never seen it. But I see they got shake on all of their names now. But the ones who got the PhDs and the masters and got scholars and really bringing scholars around, they don't have shake on their name and got more education than y'all ever gonna have. Because y'all ain't going to school to get that education. You got to use this. Just like this and that. Man, I'm going to come all in your comments and argue with you. I tell you what, man. Bring a scholar around that I can listen to and ask some questions. Can you do that? Can you hook me up with somebody, man, that I can get ijazah, man, in this lesson and this and that and this, that, and the third. If you feel like I'm uneducated, help me get educated by hooking me up with a real graduate that can hook me up with a real scholar. Can you do that? Well, play with yourself in my comments then. How about that? So man, assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.